In honor of the 2012 Academy Awards, we discuss this year's nominations for Best Actor and Actress.
Hello, I'm Liz.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Sean, and it's Oscar time here at Just Seen It. We're going to talk about the categories of Best Actor and Best Actress, who we think will win and who we think should win. So I think we should talk about the guy who's emerging as the frontrunner in this category, and that's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Or DDL, as I like to call him.
DDL, who played Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Is that right?
Awesome.
Daniel Day-Lewis is amazing. I think he's one of the best actors that's ever graced the silver screen. There's some stats against him, but I don't think there's anyone who's up to his caliber this year.
Usually, a lot of times with him, I feel like I'm seeing somebody acting. But in here, I just felt like he disappeared completely.
Yeah.
And I really believed that he was Lincoln, but not, a historical figure Lincoln. I believed he was a real person.
I think he deserves to win, and he should win. Problem is, if you give him the Best Actor award this year, he will have won 3.
What, is he going to get too big of a head? Is that what you're worried about?
No one has ever won 3
He could be the
Oscars for
first.
Best Actor.
Doesn't mean it can't happen.
Well, you're basically crowning him the greatest actor of all
Well,
time.
that doesn't mean, what do you mean? Because he won 3 Oscars, that makes him the
Yes.
best actor ever?
Yes.
He's fantastic, and I think he deserves it, and I think it's very silly to worry about these precedents.
He's been nominated only 5 times for this Oscar, and you're basically saying you're going to give him 3 Academy
Hillary
Awards with
Swank was
only 5
nominated twice
nominations.
and won both of them, right?
She's only won 2.
But she's only nominated 2.
Fair point. Fair point. Peter O'Toole was nominated 8 times, never won. Let's talk about who could maybe beat Daniel Day-Lewis. We've got Joaquin Phoenix.
No, he won't.
No, why not?
No, because he's too acty and he's too weird. And he was just chewing the scenery and eating his co-stars for dessert.
Joaquin Phoenix gave a fantastic performance. I thought he played a monster, but he somehow brought humanity to the monster, and I was impressed. However, I don't really feel like the film and his performance are accessible enough to win a Best Actor statuette.
There's not a lot of love for The Master in other categories. It's only gotten 3 nominations this year. They've all been in the acting categories, so probably Joaquin Phoenix won't win. How about Denzel Washington for Flight?
The movie was not the best movie, but I thought he gave an incredibly strong performance in a less than stellar film.
I absolutely agree. I thought he was really good, but it was kind of a lifetime alcoholism movie.
I actually liked Flight quite a bit, but Denzel Washington, like Daniel Day-Lewis, is one of our finest actors out there, I think.
Absolutely.
But again, like The Master, there's not a lot of love for Flight. It only got 1 other nomination, and that was for its screenplay, so it doesn't look like it's going to get any gold.
Yeah.
Next, we've got Bradley Cooper in Silver Linings Playbook.
He did a lot with this character that could be really unlikable because he had a lot of issues and a lot of problems and he was very outspoken. But he really turned him into somebody that we cared about and that we were kind of rooting for.
He gave such a rich performance, and it transported him off of this ridiculous, like, people's most sexiest actor kind of thing into a real, substantial performer, and I was pretty impressed. And if you look at the precursor to the Oscars, the Golden Globes, Bradley Cooper lost. He lost to Hugh Jackman.
He did lose to Hugh Jackman, who's in Les Miserables.
Hugh Jackman, for some reason, it was a little too earnest for me, and it turned me off. And I think the film itself had a lot of pretension about, we're doing live singing and we can change it up every time we do another take, and it just started to bug me. And so when I watched him personally, I got a little bit irked, but I do think he did a nice job.
I wouldn't be upset if Hugh Jackman won.
I thought he was terrific, too. I think your points will prevent the film Les Miserables from winning Best Picture. The live singing and things of that nature help the actors, and people will recognize the fact that that's something very interesting and unique and hasn't really ever been done before. I know that Daniel Day-Lewis is sort of the frontrunner right now, but again, those stats, the fact that he's already won 2 Oscars for Best Actor, somebody has to take his place if I'm going to, bet anything on it. And the only person I can really look at is Hugh Jackman. All right, so let's recap. Best Actor, who we think will win and who we think should win.
Daniel Day-Lewis should win, and I think, I'm going to make a prediction that Hugh Jackman will win.
Who I'd like to see win, Daniel Day-Lewis, but who I think will win, while I kind of see the Hugh Jackman argument, I think Daniel Day-Lewis.
I agree with Liz. I think that Daniel Day-Lewis should win, but I believe because of the historical nature that Hugh Jackman will win. Okay, so let's talk about Best Actress. Now, we have some history here, because in this category this year, we have the oldest nominee ever, and that's Emmanuelle Riva for Amour. And we have the youngest nominee ever, Quvenzhané Wallis, who was 9, and she was nominated for Beasts of the Southern Wild. How about these two actresses?
Well, they're both amazing films, actually two of my favorite films of the entire year. Both of them have accessibility issues. Beasts of the Southern Wild is more of an indie fare, and Amour is a foreign film. So though they're both incredibly strong performances, those are going to be their downfalls.
I agree. I think Emmanuelle Riva was so good in this role, but I just don't think anybody's going to see it. They're going to skew towards somebody who's a little bit more popular.
How about Naomi Watts for The Impossible?
I loved Naomi Watts in The Impossible. I was just blown away about how physically demanding it was, how emotional it was, and she just carried us through the movie, even though she wasn't in it as much as you kind of expect her to. The first 45 minutes just blew me away.
I think the issue, again, is not many people saw the movie. And though she's fantastic, that's going to be the issue there.
You have Ewan McGregor basically splitting screen time with Naomi Watts, and you have this youngster, Tom Holland, who's really the lead of the film. It's told from his point of view. So Naomi Watts is almost a supporting actress in this.
I do think there's a possibility that she could be the dark horse, though, and we talk a little bit about the math of these nominations and these wins and splitting the vote amongst all the actors and actresses. And because she's so embraced by the community and it was such a demanding role, there might be a chance that she might be the surprise.
So I feel that this category is coming down to 2 actresses at this moment, Jessica Chastain and Jennifer Lawrence. So Jessica Chastain, of course, is in Zero Dark 30.
She's a little bit like Meryl Streep in the sense that she looks like a different person with every role that she takes. And I respect her. I think she's graceful in public. I think she makes really interesting decisions in her career. She just constantly challenges herself. And I thought she was a force to be reckoned with in Zero Dark 30.
I really liked Jessica Chastain, but there were some moments when she had to be very forceful, where the tone of her voice sounded a little bit like a petulant teenager. So it didn't always work for me.
I personally love the film. I think Zero Dark 30 is terrific. But it's not an actor's movie. Really, the only one who stands out at all is Jessica Chastain. And she does deserve the nomination. I have no qualms about that. She's fiery, she's tough as nails. It doesn't really stand out as something that pushes the film even further than what maybe the director can do with it, which is Catherine Bigelow. Plus the fact that Catherine Bigelow got snubbed. I don't think there's a lot of love for Zero Dark 30, unfortunately, especially with this accusations of it being pro-torture and whatnot. So next up is Jennifer Lawrence for Silver Linings Playbook.
I really like Jennifer Lawrence in this. When she's on screen, my gaze always went to her, and I was always interested in what she had to say and how she had to say it specifically.
She's an amazing, amazing actress, and I think this movie, she gave it a fantastic performance. I don't disagree with you, but there's something in me that says she's too young, or she's gone too mainstream, or I don't even know what it is. This is a comedy. I have all these reasons in my head that are saying it's not going to be her. In spite of all these instincts, I predict it will be her who wins.
Her character is the most complicated in this batch of 5. It's quirky, it's funny, it's weird. And of all the 5 actresses, I feel like this is the one where she made it her own. I'm not sure I could see anyone else playing this character, and I can't necessarily say that about the other 4. So let's sum up Best Actress. I want to know who you think should win and who you think will win.
I think Naomi Watts should win, but I do think Jennifer Lawrence is going to win.
Jessica Chastain should win everything, but I do feel that Jennifer Lawrence will win.
I'm going to say Jennifer Lawrence should win and Jennifer Lawrence will win. Cheers.
Cheers to actors and actresses.
To mimes and performers and spoken word artists.
It annoyed the crap out of me.